Yeah.
Okay, just hold it wherever it's at. It's all over the place, man. Why are you so shaky? What, you got cerebral palsy or something? I'm trying out loud.
I'm trying to figure that out still. So is my doctor, so we're working together.
All right.
Okay.
All right, you cool?
Yeah.
Think you got it? All right, sweet. Hi, my name is Jason Steele, and I'm really excited to work with my friend Niek Theelen on The Core of Comedy. We are working on bringing the answer to the question, what is it that brought you into comedy, and why do you tell the types of jokes that you do? Because every comedian is different, but it's interesting how what comedians bring to the table is typically the challenges that they've had in their life, and that's where the really good jokes, where the really good stories that we want to hear are. And so we're going to take a look at some of those stories, at some of those jokes. Where did they come from? What kind of challenges have these comedians faced, and what brought them to be where they are today? I know he's planning to interview comedians who have been in the game for 40 years, comedians who are just starting out, men, women, people with various disabilities, people coming from different walks of life, all to find out what brought them into comedy and how they craft their jokes and their stories, and what parts of it are real, and what parts of it do they add to juice it up, and all those kinds of really interesting questions. So you could find out, you know, it's not just a joke, it's not just why did the chicken cross the road, it really is how did these jokes connect to the comedian that crafted it, and get really deep into their lives. And I wanted to share with you why I've become a part of this project. I've seen Niek growing through his comedy over the last couple of years, and what I really love about Niek, and I'm sure you've seen his show and his style of comedy as well, is that he's not afraid to touch on his disability and how it affects him in his day-to-day life, and show the comedy and the funny side of that.
I'm really excited to have Jason on board and all the other people. I've got Lori Gibbs planning to be on the first premiere episode, and I'm really excited about that because she's done a lot in comedy as well. She's been on TV, and she's a mom. She's a crazy craft lady. She's a woman in comedy, which is, you know, a different perspective in comedy. You know, she's raising two sons at the same time. She has a part-time job as a radio personality, and there's just so much more to her that you wouldn't see if you were to just watch an hour of a comedy show with her. You know what I mean? It's something you wouldn't see otherwise. So this is kind of something I want to unveil or unravel in the series, and I hope that it can be an educational tool for other comedians, or for actors like Jason, or for theater performers, or just people that are interested in how it is all put together, and that it's not just something I decided to come up with 2 days ago and perform in front of people, but it's something that's a practiced art. And I want to share that story with all of you guys. So I hope that you'll vote for this project and join people like me and Jason in showcasing that there's more to comedy than what meets the eye. So.
Yeah, I'll just maybe just share it quickly, because a lot of you aren't familiar with how Storyhive works. What's really important for us to be able to make this project happen is that you do vote and share with your social media followings. And we don't want you to turn this into like we don't want to have you like selling it all over the place and having you feel like, oh, I've had to pitch this thing. If it's something that you feel like you want to support, even if you could just share it with your following once and say, hey, you know what, this is really cool. I'm really excited to be able to help these guys because Niek is somebody that I've seen on stage, and I love his authenticity. I love that he's not afraid to just dig into his own life. And if you're excited to see what some of the other comedians are up to, and if you're excited about the possibility of being a subject of one of our episodes as well, because I know the way that Storyhive works. For this edition, it's a web series version, so the first episode will be focusing on Lori Gibbs, and in order to get the funding to start that first episode, we need to have as many votes as we can so that we can be in the top 30 pitches for voting. And once we have that, we'll have the funding to be able to do that premiere episode. So the more people we can get voting every day really helps. So we've got Nick's project, and I've got a few other friends who are working on projects. It would be actually really cool if we could share a few of those. But for you, I really would like you to focus on Nick's project because that's his baby, and I really love to see this get off the ground. What happens then is once that premiere episode is funded, we'll create it, we'll film it, and then that will go up for voting to see which of those premiere episodes are good enough for to be made into the rest of the season. And so then we'll get more funding if we get enough votes at that point. So we'll ask for votes again. I believe that'll be in a few months' time once we've actually created that first episode. So we'll be back in touch with you, and that'll help us to get the funding for the rest of the season when you might be a subject of one of the episodes if you're a comedian and you've got a story to tell.
We'll be setting up social media pages for the actual project itself too. So if you want to follow and see what we're working on, see the videos, or see the people we've got lined up for the project so far, get some more information, go to the pages, even send us a message and ask us about the project, and I'll be more than happy to explain and tell you more about it. One of the other things that I love is I've been all over Alberta in the 3 years that I've been doing comedy, and now recently into BC. So I'm not just going to be talking to local comedians in Red Deer or Medicine Hat or Calgary or Edmonton. I'm going to show a diverse range and people that have been in comedy for various amounts of time, and just get their perspective of what it's like to be in comedy, because sometimes it can be a grind, sometimes it can be really enjoyable. I assume most of the time it's enjoyable, otherwise you wouldn't keep doing it. But we want to share those stories, and that's the purpose of this documentary. So why don't you join me and Jason, invite into the Comedy Corps, vote for our project. We just made an apple with googly eyes. Vote for us. We have an apple with googly eyes.
You bit the first bite, didn't you?
I did. Is it
Does it
cemetery now?
I don't know. What's your doctor say? Can you share apples? I don't know, man.